One telltale sign, for those that don't know, that you have made it to the next level is that you get brutally humbled. Like there's something that you set out to do, the instructions seemed easy, you know, you submitted your work, you submitted your piece, you did your thing, whatever. And you get smacked down, like brutally humbled. And this may not seem like a sign that you're making it or that you're going places, but it's a sign that like you're doing something new, you're trying something new, and you put yourself out there, and if it matters enough to you to humble you, then you're on the right path. I keep hearing the term rejection therapy a lot, and that's kind of what's going on in the collective. And for a lot of you, you may feel, so Ace of Birds, that's confirmation, that's the truth, that like you're good at handling rejection, like you're used to it, you've dealt with it most of your life. And for a lot of you, that's true, but it's because it's been in things that haven't really mattered to you. So like being rejected hasn't been like the biggest deal for you. But when it comes to the things you do that do matter, for some of you, this is why you haven't even put yourself out there to like work towards your goals, and others of you, you are currently working towards your goals, is that like now it matters to you. So these things are gonna hurt. Like if you put yourself out there or express yourself in a certain way and someone has like some criticism or like totally takes apart what you're doing, you're gonna have like and when I say brutally humbled, I mean to a point where like you feel like you want to quit, or it's not something that's actually meant for you. Like you have all this passion for it and you feel like a door was blocked, when in anything it's more of like it's either someone was just giving you good advice that will make you better, or it was just someone doing their job. But this is so that you can be able to tell the difference between someone who's giving you really good career advice or project advice, creative advice, someone who's just doing their job, or also there's a considerable group of people that are just saying things to be an asshole. And this time is for you to, sorry, I just woke up from a nap, is for you to experience all this kind of rejection from things that you like, so that you can tell the difference going forward as you embrace your gifts and your talents and all of that. Like with this Nine of Birds, this is like you kind of getting in your head about whatever it is, whatever information that you receive, this like rejection therapy. And that this is actually, this card's beautiful because it's all of these thoughts that are keeping this person from going off the cliff. So it's like you can be shooting arrows into the air, but all of these like criticism and advice is keeping you from either going too far or making fatal mistakes. With this romantic here, there's like a romanticized energy here. So this is like something that you really love, something that, you know, I kept hearing like check your expectations at the door, that you romanticize like how this could work or how this could go. For some of you, like the cost to, like the barrier to entry to anything is embarrassment. And that's always the first thing. And then you kind of get your footing, and then that's where this humbling comes in. It's like whenever you think that like, oh, maybe I am good enough, maybe I am cut out for this and this could be my path, is when this like, it's like a brutal leveling of like, no, maybe you're not good enough for this, where it's like you get like a kind of like harsh criticism or something that makes you question what it is that you're doing. It kind of takes these like romantic notions right out of your head. With this Weaver, it's like going back to the drawing board. This is a Page of Swords kind of energy, where it's like you have all of the manifestation capabilities, you have all of the abilities, but like in the traditional deck, it's a person who's holding a sword that's about as big as them. It's that you have all the skills, the talents, all of this, but you're still a young person in this. You're still kind of new to all of this, and you haven't really figured out how you can manage and shape all of this talent. And this sort of like criticism comes in to shape you, and it's like this is the initiation, after like the initial like just getting your foot in the door, just taking the chance. That first step is always the hardest, and then you get your footing and you're like, ooh, you know, I'm actually kind of good at this. And then you get some real professional critique, and it's like, ooh, you know, maybe I'm not all that, or I'm not all like whatever. And it's the exact opposite. It's you wouldn't be getting the critique if there wasn't the potential for you to adjust. This is the make or break energy of that you bring to the table then is, do you believe in yourself enough to say, you know what, I can take that person's advice and I can make myself better? Or are you going to say, like, or are you going to allow that criticism to take you out of the knees? And this is a big threshold for many, because it's when they get into these spaces that they've always wanted to be in, and then life, like, you get hit with that humbling moment, and then you get to decide, you know, am I going to get, this is where all that spiritual work you've been doing on reacting versus responding comes in. Are you going to react to this and get upset? A lot of people will blame the person giving the critique. And again, this is where you get to decide, is this person giving me great professional advice? Are they just doing their job, or are they being a dick? And you get to decide. With this peacock, this is Empress energy. So you really get to decide how you want to nurture yourself and move forward with your gifts. Do you want to nurture these gifts, or are you going to let them go once you hit this threshold? Once you really get to question of, like, am I cut out for this? How are you going to nurture yourself through this? Especially you and your projects. You know, the Empress is usually like a pregnant woman sitting there. She's, you know, abundance, fertility. And this is nurturing energy that you're being called to look at. With this life map, this is the Wheel of Fortune in the traditional deck. So this like critique that you hit, this is your Wheel of Fortune moment. Like, how do you want this wheel to turn? How are you going to handle this energy as it comes in? Because obviously, you know, whichever the way the wheel turns, we do have a hand in it. At the back of my deck, I have the Swan here, which is the High Priestess. And this card also represents that you are safe and protected through this transition. So whatever it is that you're experiencing with this Wheel of Fortune energy, you are protected however you would like to move forward from this. If it's you'd like to continue to nurture your gifts, you're protected. If you're like, you know what, this isn't for me, you're protected. With this past lives here, this ties into the death card in the traditional deck. So again, whatever kind of death you experience, whether it's the death of this project that you're working on, or if it's just the ego death, you know, you take that little hit and you nurture yourself through it and move forward. With this Veil card, finally, the last one before they go reversed at the back of my deck. This is actually the Star card in the traditional deck, which tells me that if you nurture yourself, you have the ability to achieve high potential in whatever it is that you're going for, that you're creating. And this is also like a healing energy. So you do have the ability to heal yourself after this ego death, should you choose to. Whatever it is, you are safe and protected through whatever it is that you're going through, but this is just a sign to not give up when you hit roadblocks. I kept hearing, don't dish it if you can't take it. So again, it's like, if you're going to put your stuff out in the world, expect some criticism. And again, that this is sort of part of living a path aligned with your soul, that you could stay safe and live a life that isn't aligned to you. You can be fine with being rejected from things that don't matter to you, or you can put yourself out there and live in a heart-centered space and be open to those attacks on whatever it is, this little baby that you've been nurturing, and understand that you will then be able to categorize who has my best interest at heart, and, you know, who's trying to make me better versus who's just critiquing just to critique, you know, because critic is a profession. And again, who's just doing their job and is just, you know, next. That you'll be able to discern the more you put yourself out there, and that this is kind of like rejection therapy when it comes to things that actually matter to you, and that it will only serve you in your path, in your craft, whatever it is that you're doing in your career, your life, whatever. So if this resonates with you, let me know. If you'd like your own personal reading with me, where we can either dig more into this topic or something else that you're interested in, you can head to the link at the top of my page. It's in my Etsy shop, and also check out my Substack while you're there. Thank you.